You're Christian. So if I told you, for example, this is Buddha, and some men worship Buddha, who's another man, or this one's Krishna, he's a man, and some men worship him, what would you say of them?
That's fine for them. That's their belief.
No, I understand that's their belief, but what would you say? Would it not be wrong to worship a man?
Everyone does what they want to do. You can't control other people.
No, but look. Someone can say 1 + 1 is 5. You're not just going to say, okay, that's okay, that's okay. So why would you do that with the most fundamental question of your life?
Because religion is what you believe. If you believe something to be alright, then you believe that. Just because someone else believes something else doesn't mean that you can tell them that.
All right, forget the cameras and don't give the political. If I told you 1 + 1 is 5,
you would be wrong.
You'd say I'm stupid. Yes. If I said a man is God, why can't I say you're wrong?
Because that's your belief.
If my belief is 1 + 1 is 5.
Yeah, but religion and math is different.
Okay, the
math is linear. You can prove that 1 + 1 isn't 5.
So you can't prove a man is not God?
Yeah, because you were never there.
If this man makes a claim for he's God, would you believe him?
That's different.
Why is that different?
Because he's right here, I can see myself. I know he's not God.
So if the person you can't see, you can actually believe he is God. Do you see what I'm getting? We say that God is one and only one. There's none worthy of worship except for God Almighty. Not any sons, like Israel was the son of God. In Psalms 2:7, David is the son of God. Adam in the genealogy given by Luke and Matthew is the son of God. So we don't say sons of gods are gods. We only say God is God. And not only that, on top of that, that worship is to be directed only to God Almighty. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't tell someone they're wrong for believing in something like that. Because and no matter what you think, you can never tell them that they're wrong because they're just going to still...
Of course, if this man starts worshipping this camera, you can't say they're wrong.
Because that's what he chooses to believe.
You need to speak to him, you know that. Speak to him properly.
That's what he chooses.
But give him 2 minutes. Why? Look, do you worship Jesus? That's exactly why you're defending these propositions. That's the only reason. If you yourself did not worship Jesus, you would not defend this. Because you know ultimately it's wrong in your heart. Jesus, in the Bible it says, worship only one God, right or wrong? If you saw Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane praying to God, would you pray to him or pray with him? Be honest. With him. To who? Exactly. So why do you pray to him?
Well, you don't know who God is. Do you know who God is? Do you know who God is?
God is the one that created the heavens and the earth.
Well, you don't
Listen,
know who that is.
we know God. We don't need to know like this. We know God. Hear this.
So how can you tell?
We know Jesus is not God. Yeah, I'll tell you. We know Jesus is not God. Yeah? Even if you say that Jesus is God, you have to ask yourself some peculiar questions. How does God die for 3 days and 3 nights? Who raised him?
Well, who are you to question God?
It's not. If God says he is all living, then how can he die?
Listen,
do you understand? No, you're questioning what he's telling you. If God fundamentally is ever living, you believe he's ever living, then how does he die?
So you don't think God can fool you?
Listen, God is telling you, he is forever living. He never dies. Can I say, or maybe he can die?
No, you can say anything.
He's saying he's eternal.
You have to say the correct thing.
You have to say the correct thing. He's telling you God Almighty is eternal. In Numbers it says that God is not a man. So then if someone says God is a man, there's a fundamental problem. God is telling you one thing, but you are doing something else.
Well, then that's on you to think. That's on you to think and change your ways.
Okay, so think with me. Think with me. Do you believe in one God? Do you believe Jesus prayed to that one God? Okay, so why do you not pray only to that one God like Jesus?
I don't know.
This is what we as Muslims believe. We believe there's only one God. And that only one God is to be worshipped. No men's, no spirit holy or unholy. This worship that you worship to Jesus should not be to Jesus. It should only be to the one who he prayed to. And that's God Almighty. And you should also act on your beliefs. That means that if you believe in God, you should be praying to that God because you have a purpose. You have not been created in jest. Do you understand? This idea that you could do anything, there is no law like many people do. They just go to church on Sunday if they go to church. This is not what Jesus taught. Jesus called the people to worship one God. And this is what we do in Islam. We believe in the Torah of Moses, the Injil, which is a gospel that was given to Jesus, not the gospel you have today. This is a collection of books that came after Jesus. If Jesus came down and saw what's with you in terms of the gospels, he would not recognize you. He would not recognize Christianity, nor would he recognize the Bible. That has to be fundamentally worrying for this truth seeker.
It's a difference in beliefs, and as much as you say what you think is right, I believe something different. So nothing you can say is going to change my mind. That's just a respectful thing. Obviously, I respect you as a Muslim.
No, I get that. But how would you convince me what you're doing is right?
I don't have to convince you.
No, you don't have to do anything, that's what I'm saying. You don't have to do it. But if I were to put you in a position where I asked you that to worship Jesus as a man, as God,
I would never let you do that, because the only person I have to prove something to is God.
Okay, so what are you proving by worshipping another man aside from God, when the first commandment is, hear ye, O Israel, your Lord the God is one, and you should worship only him? He is a jealous God. What are you proving to God by worshipping someone else?
I don't need to prove anything until I see it.
No, but you said you need to prove to God.
I just have to act how the Bible says I should act, and then
How does the Bible say you should act?
act like a Christian.
No, the Bible doesn't say that. Jesus, it says in Matthew, in Matthew it says, do not think I've come to abolish the law, nay, I've come to fulfill the law. Do you understand? Do you know the Bible? Have you read the Bible? Let me show you one last verse and I can see, I'll let you go. But at the end of the day, it's you who stands before your Lord, Come, I'll show you something. Come close, I'll show you something. This is the Bible. It says many, and this is Jesus speaking in Matthew 7, verse 21, This is the King James Version, and the website is Bible Gateway. It's not a Muslim Bible or atheist Bible. This is a Christian Bible. It says, many will say to me, Jesus is saying it, on that day, meaning later, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? Do Muslims call Jesus Lord?
I don't know.
No, we don't. Do Jews call Jesus Lord?
I don't know, I'm not a Jew.
They don't. Do Christians call Jesus Lord? Yes, they do.
Some do, some do.
Okay. Christians believe that Jesus is Christ, right? And Christ does mean Lord. That's why it says, many. I feel like you're defending yourself unnecessarily.
There's different parts,
Look,
right?
many will say to me on that day, not Muslims, not Jews, it will be Christians, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have we not cast out demons, and in thy name done many wonderful works? He will say, and I will profess unto them that call me Lord, Lord, and do all these miracles and everything, I never knew you, depart from me, you that work iniquity. Who is it? What does you who work iniquity mean? Do you know?
We're not competent.
Yeah, so the actual meaning or the actual translation, let me get it up for you.
Sorry, I gotta go.
Huh? Okay, no problem. Okay, yeah, so the verse is saying that people will call Jesus Lord, Lord on that day, and they will come to him and they will say, we've done such and such in your name and everything. Jesus fundamentally and ultimately would say, get away from me, I never knew you, you who work iniquity. Now if you look at the actual translation of work iniquity, it means you who are lawless. It means you who are lawless. Now the Muslims abide by the law, and the Jews abide by the Mosaic law. It's only the Christians that are lawless. John describes sin as being the breaking of the law in the Gospel of John. Now the Muslims are not the ones who call Jesus Lord, and it's not the Jews who call Jesus Lord. It's only Christians. So, أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, will you then not ponder? Huh? He was a bit resistant.